The punch bowl's crystal rim caught the flicker of 100 candle flames as Ethan Hargrove's fist connected with the lacrosse captain's jaw. "Stay the fuck away from him," Ethan growled, his voice a low thunder that silenced the room. In the stunned hush that followed, Alex Harper, disheveled, cheeks burning, locked eyes with the stranger who'd just upended the night, wondering if chivalry like that still existed, or if it was just another Harvard illusion about to shatter. The party was the kind of affair that screamed old money and older secrets. The Harvard Club's grand ballroom, draped in crimson banners that whispered of Ivy League legacies, filled with the heirs to fortunes and the strivers clawing for a piece. Laughter bubbled like the vintage Dom Perignon flowing from silver trays, but beneath it all hummed the undercurrent of cruelty that thrived in places like this, where ambition was armor and vulnerability a target. Alex had come because Professor Langford, his advisor in the English Lit department, had insisted, "Network, Harper. This is where doors open." But Alex, 23 and fresh off a scholarship that still felt like borrowed time, knew better. Doors opened for the Ethans of the world, not the Alexes, the quiet ones with poetry notebooks instead of trust funds. He'd been nursing a ginger ale, teetotaler by choice, after coming out sophomore year and learning that alcohol loosened lips he couldn't afford to hear, when the jocks cornered him near the dessert table. It started innocently enough. A spilled drink, a clumsy apology. But Tyler Voss, captain of the crew team, with his all-American jawline and eyes like polished agate, smelled blood. "Watch where you're going. Queerbait," Tyler slurred, his breath hot with scotch. The word landed like a slap, drawing snickers from his pack. Frat brothers in pastel ties, the kind who summered in the Hamptons and wintered in denial. Alex straightened, heart hammering. "It's just a spill, man. No need." "Oh, come on," Tyler pressed, stepping closer, his bulk eclipsing the light. "We all saw you eyeing the waitstaff. What? Hoping for a tip in private." The laughter swelled, pack howl, and before Alex could retort, Tyler's hand clamped his shoulder, steering him, not shoving, not yet, toward the side hall. "Why don't you park it over there, by the Johns? Wouldn't want you cramping our style." The bathroom door loomed, gilded and mocking, its brass handle gleaming like a handcuff. Alex's pulse roared in his ears. He could fight God. He wanted to, but numbers weren't on his side, and neither was the room. Eyes averted, champagne glasses tinkled on. This was Harvard meritocracy's myth, where the privileged policed the borders. "I'm not," Alex started, voice cracking. But then the crash, the shatter. Ethan's intervention wasn't planned. He was across the room, charming a cluster of poli-sci majors with that effortless grin, when he saw it unfold. Ethan Hargrove, 28, adjunct lecturer in sociology by day, trust fund drifter by inheritance, had a nose for bullshit. He'd lost his own brother to a hate crime back in Philly, a ghost that haunted his hookups and hardened his resolve. Seeing Tyler's grip tighten, something primal snapped. He crossed the floor in 4 strides, snatching a flute from a passing tray and hurling it, not at Tyler's head, but close enough to startle. The room froze. Tyler whirled, fist raised, but Ethan's stance, loose, coiled, like a man who'd boxed in college, held him back. "Touch him again," Ethan said, voice steady as steel, "and I'll make sure your daddy's alumni donation dries up faster than your GPA." Tyler blinked, bravado flickering. He knew the Hargrove name. Everyone did. Old blood, deeper pockets. With a muttered curse, he backed off, his crew slinking into the shadows like scolded dogs. The party exhaled, murmurs rippling outward. Alex, released, rubbed his arm, staring at Ethan like he'd materialized from one of his Bronte novels. A brooding Rochester, sans the attic wife. "You okay?" Ethan asked, softer now, offering a handkerchief from his pocket. Crisp linen, monogrammed. Close. He was striking. Sharp cheekbones, hazel eyes flecked with gold. A faint scar above his lip that begged questions. Alex nodded, swallowing pride. "Yeah. Thanks. That was intense." Ethan chuckled, low and warm. "Intense is my middle name. Come on. Let's get you out of the splash zone." He guided Alex away from the bathrooms, toward a quieter alcove by the French doors overlooking the Charles River. Moonlight silvered the water, turning the boathouses into silhouettes of forgotten races. They leaned against the railing, the party's din muffled. "I'm Alex," he said finally. "Lit major." "You?" "Ethan. Sociology adjunct." Floating through. A pause. Then, "What Voss pulled? That's not Harvard. That's just assholes with too much time." Alex snorted. "Feels pretty Harvard to me. The whole gentleman's sea vibe." Ethan's gaze sharpened, praising. "You don't strike me as the type to take that lying down." "Survival instinct," Alex admitted. "Grew up in a trailer park outside Tulsa. Learned early. Pick your battles, or they pick you." The confession hung, raw and unpolished. Ethan nodded. No pity in his eyes, just recognition. "Philly row house kid here. Dad was a cop. Mom a nurse. We Hargroves pretend we're blue blood. But it's all varnish." He clinked his glass against Alex's empty one. "To varnish. May it crack just enough to let the light in." They talked then, words flowing like the river below. Alex quoted Dickinson, "The soul selects her own society," and Ethan countered with Baldwin, "Dissecting the lies we tell ourselves about belonging." Hours slipped by, the party thinned to stragglers. When the quartet packed up their stands, Ethan slipped Alex his card. "Coffee? Not the watered-down campus swill. Real stuff. At Tat on Brattle." Alex pocketed it, pulse quickening. "Yeah, I'd like that." As Ethan vanished into the night, Alex lingered, the handkerchief still in his fist. For the first time since orientation, Harvard didn't feel like a cage. It felt like possibility. The autumn fog clung to Cambridge like a reluctant lover, muting the spires of Memorial Hall and turning every footstep into a whisper. Alex replayed the party in his dorm room mirror that night, practicing smiles that didn't reach his eyes. Ethan's card burned in his wallet. Embossed, understated, with a scrawled Monday, 10 a.m., on the back. He hadn't dated since high school, not seriously. Hookups were risky in a town where reputations were currency, and his was already threadbare after a leaked Grindr screenshot last spring. But Ethan? He moved like he owned the fog, parting it without effort. Monday dawned crisp, leaves carpeting the quad in fiery protest against the chill. Tat Bakery hummed with the scent of cardamom and fresh brioche. Academics hunched over laptops like monks illuminating manuscripts. Ethan was already there, at a corner table by the window, nursing a flat white. He looked up as Alex approached, that scar quirking with his smile. "You made it. Thought the river might have swallowed you." "Too stubborn," Alex quipped, sliding into the seat. They ordered cordidoux for him, pain o' chocolate split between, and the conversation picked up seamlessly, as if the weekend hadn't intervened. Ethan probed gently Alex's thesis on queer subtext in 19th-century American lit, the scholarship that hauled him from Oklahoma dust to Massachusetts damp. In turn, Alex drew out Ethan's ghosts, the adjunct grind, the family estate in Back Bay that felt more museum than home. "You're not what I expected from a Hargrove," Alex said, licking chocolate from his thumb. Ethan arched a brow. "And what's that?" Polo ponies and polo shirts. Something like. But you fight for strangers in bathrooms. That's rare. Strangers. Ethan leaned in, voice dropping. Felt pretty personal after the first punch. Heat bloomed in Alex's chest. Their knees brushed under the table. Accidental, then not. By the time they parted, plans were made. A walk along the esplanade that weekend, leaves at peak, with a thermos of something spiked. The walks became ritual. Saturday mornings, they'd trace the paths where joggers blurred past. Ethan in worn Levi's that hugged his frame just so. Alex in hoodies layered against the wind off the Charles. They debated Foucault over falafel from Clover. Ethan arguing power structures with a fervor that made Alex's arguments sharper. One afternoon, under a canopy of turning maples, Ethan stopped mid-sentence, cupping Alex's face. You know you're brilliant, right? Not just book smart. You see people. Alex's breath caught. Flattery? From a sociologist. Truth. And then Ethan's lips were on his soft, tentative, tasting of cider and certainty. The kiss deepened. Hands tangling in sweaters. The world narrowing to the rustle of leaves and the distant honk of ducks. When they broke apart, foreheads pressed, Ethan murmured, I've wanted that since the punch bowl. Me too, Alex whispered. But, slow? This place chews up fast. Ethan nodded, thumb tracing Alex's jaw. Slow as you need. Slow they tried to be. Dinners at Ethan's off-campus apartment. A converted brownstone with exposed brick and shelves groaning under sociology tomes. They cooked. Ethan's gumbo. Spicy enough to make Alex tear up. Alex's attempt at pozole that ended in laughter and takeout. Nights blurred into mornings. Bodies entwined but boundaries respected. No rush. Just the quiet thrill of hands exploring collarbones. Necks. The curve of a hip. Ethan whispered poetry in the dark. Autumn lines about desire's quiet music. And Alex felt seen. Not as the trailer park kid or the gay scholarship case, but as himself. But Harvard's underbelly stirred. Whispers followed Alex in the dining hall. Heard Harper's shacking up with some professor, Tyler Voss. Nursing a grudge and a black eye. Fanned the flames. Emails to the dean. Anonymous. Inappropriate conduct. Adjunct Hargrove targeting undergrads. Ethan laughed it off at first. Jealousy. Classic. But Alex saw the strain. The way Ethan's calls to his lawyer brother in Philly grew clipped. Fall deepened. Midterms loomed like storm clouds. One evening, after a lecture on Whitman, Ethan guesting, his voice wrapping the room around, I sing the body electric. Alex waited in the hall. Students milled, but Tyler lingered, smirking. Cozy. Huh? Professor's pet. Back off. Voss. Alex snapped. Your daddy can't buy dignity. Tyler's laugh was ugly. We'll see. Some doors slam shut. That night, over wine at Ethan's, Alex confessed the run-in. Ethan's face darkened. He's bluffing. But maybe we cool it publicly? Just till finals. The word stung. Paper cut to the heart. Hide? After everything. Not hide. Protect. Ethan pulled him close. You, this department, my gig. I can't lose it. Not when it's the only thing that's mine. Alex relented. Because love was compromise. Right? But the alcoves felt colder. Their touches stolen in shadows. Stolen moments bred doubt. Was Ethan ashamed? Or just pragmatic? The river mocked them, flowing free while they navigated dams. Winter crept in, snow dusting the yard like confectioner's sugar. Holiday break loomed. Alex bound for Tulsa, Ethan for a family ski trip in Aspen he dreaded. Their goodbye at South Station was a frenzy of kisses, promises texted across time zones. But on Christmas Eve, Alex's phone buzzed. Not Ethan, but an anonymous link. A video, grainy, time-stamped from the party. Tyler shoving him toward the bathroom. Ethan's punch, but edited, twisted to make it look like Ethan started it. A drunken brawl. Caption: Hargrove's true colors. Keep our campus straight. Alex's stomach plummeted. He forwarded it to Ethan, who called immediately. It's bullshit. I'll sue. But the damage seeped. By New Year's, the dean's office summoned Ethan. Formal inquiry. Fraternization concerns, they said. Eyes on Alex's name in his syllabus guest list. Ethan fought. Tenure track dreams be damned, but the Hargrove name, once shield, now sword. Family influence? We can't appear bought. Alex, back in Cambridge early, paced his dorm. Guilt gnawed his visibility, the scholarship that made him a symbol. When Ethan finally returned, gaunt from jet lag and jet ski avoidance, they met at the apartment. They're suspending me pending review, he said flatly, pouring scotch. Indefinite. No. Alex's voice broke. This is my fault. Yours. Ethan whirled. It's Voss's. And the system's. The one that lets rich pricks play God. They argued then. Words like winter wind. Alex accusing caution of cowardice. Ethan defending survival as strategy. I love you, Ethan shouted finally, glass shattering in the sink. But love doesn't pay bills when they fire you. The silence after was deafening. Alex left at dawn, snow muffling his steps. Love, he thought, was a Harvard degree, promised, but provisional. Spring thawed the Charles, but not the frost between them. Alex buried himself in revisions, his thesis a lifeline of annotations and all-nighters. Ethan vanished from campus. Adjunct privileges revoked, his office a ghost box of stacked books. Texts dwindled. Miss you to house the paper? To silence. Alex told himself it was space, healing. But dreams betrayed him. Ethan's hands, warm against the cold, slipping away like river ice. The betrayal came on a Tuesday, unannounced. Alex was in the Lamont Forum, buried in microfiche on Hawthorne's coded queerness, when his phone vibrated. Not Ethan, a classmate. Mia, poli-sci firebrand with a nose for scandal. Check the Crimson. Page 3. The Harvard Crimson. Student run. Gospel. Headline: Adjunct Hargrove resigns amid fraternization probe. Sources cite inappropriate relationship with undergrad. Below, a photo. Ethan at the party, arm around Alex's shoulders in that alcove. Snapped covertly, intimacy frozen into accusation. Quote from an anonymous source. Hargrove preyed on vulnerability. The kids from nowhere, he didn't stand a chance. Alex's vision tunneled. Preyed? The word clawed, twisting their lazy Sundays into predation. He stormed to the dean's office, words tumbling. It's lies. We were careful. Dean Whitaker, silver-haired and sympathetic in that boardroom way, steepled her fingers. Mr. Harper, your candor is noted. But the inquiry found inconsistencies. Mr. Hargrove's resignation protects everyone, including you. Protects. Alex laughed, bitter. It buries him. And me, she sighed. Think of your future. Tyler Voss has withdrawn his complaint in exchange for discretion. No police, no headlines naming you. Voss. The pieces slotted, the video, the probe, Ethan's fall. A deal, brokered in cigar smoke and connections. Alex left, the yard blooming mockingly around him, cherry blossoms like confetti at a funeral. He went to Ethan's apartment that night, keys still under the mat from better days. The place was half-packed. Boxes of books, A for sale sign on the kitchen counter. Ethan looked up from taping a flap, hollow-eyed. You shouldn't be here. Who? Alex demanded, voice shaking. Was? Did you cut a deal? Ethan's jaw tightened. What I did was end it. Clean. Clean. Alex snatched the article printout from his bag, thrusting it forward. This says you preyed on me. Like I'm some victim you seduced for sport. Ethan scanned it, color draining. Jesus. I resigned to kill the story, not feed it. But you let them spin it. Without fighting for us. Us. Ethan's laugh was jagged. There is no us. Alex. Not anymore. I'm out. No job. No references. My family's cutting strings. Don't embarrass the name. They say. I can't drag you into that black hole. Alex stepped closer. Desperate. I'm already in. I love you, you idiot. We fight together. Ethan's eyes glistened, but he turned away. Love's not enough. Not here. A beat. Then quieter. Go. Graduate. Be the poet you are. The door clicked shut behind Alex like a guillotine. He wandered the streets, neon from the garment district blurring through tears. Betrayal wasn't Voss's smirk. It was Ethan's surrender, choosing isolation over their shared storm. Weeks blurred into a haze. Alex aced finals, but the thesis defense loomed like Judgment Day. Professor Langford, his advisor, pulled him aside post-seminar. Heard about Hargrove. Tough break. But chin up, your work stands alone. Does it? Alex muttered. Feels tainted. Langford's eyes twinkled behind bifocals. Taint is in the eye. Harper. Yours sees truth. Lean on that. The defense was in Widener's oak-paneled room. Sunlight slanting through leaded glass like spotlights. Committee members, stiff in tweed, nodded as Alex unpacked Hawthorne's veils, drawing parallels to modern closets. The scarlet letter isn't A for adultery. It's for aberration. The queer heart Hawthorne hid in plain sight. Questions flew. He parried, voice steady. Applause followed. Genuine. Langford clapped his shoulder. Magna cum laude. Easy. And a tip. The McDowell Colony Fellowship, your name's whispered. Elation warred with emptiness. That night, alone in his dorm, Alex drafted a letter to Ethan. Pages of ache. No seal. Dawn found him at the river, ashes scattering on the current. Burn it, he thought. Let it go. But fate, that capricious prof, had other plans. Graduation week descended. Caps and gowns, air thick with champagne toasts and teary goodbyes. Alex walked the procession, diploma heavy as hope, Mia linking arms. To New York? Or Tulsa prodigal? Somewhere, he said. Anywhere but here. The after-party was at the Fly Club. Ironic, given the wings clipped. Alex nursed a seltzer, dodging well-wishers, when Tyler Voss approached. Solo for once. Suit rumpled. Harper. Congrats. Alex tensed. Save it. Tyler shifted. Uncomfortable. Look. The video. That was heat of the moment. Dad made me pull it. Generous. A flush crept up Tyler's neck. I was scared. Okay. Coming out last fall, my roommate walked in on a call with my boyfriend in D.C. The team. They razzied me. Hard. Lashing at you felt like control. Alex blinked. You're? Yeah. Tyler's grin was sheepish. Irony. Right? Voss the homophobe. Therapy's helping. And, sorry. For the bathroom shit. The apology hung. Imperfect but real. Alex nodded, the knot in his chest loosening a fraction. Apology noted. Now fuck off. Tyler laughed, vanishing into the crowd. Progress. Alex thought. Human. Messy. Later, as fireworks burst over the river, red, white, blue for a country still learning, Alex slipped outside. The boathouse path called, memories thick. He sat on the bench where Ethan proposed their first walk. Stars pricking the velvet sky. Footsteps crunched gravel. Mind company? Alex's heart seized. Ethan thinner, beard shadowing his jaw, but those hazel eyes unchanged, stood hesitant. Heard you crushed the defense. Langford's crowing. You came back. Alex stood, wary. Couldn't not. Ethan shoved hands in pockets. Spent winter in Philly, crashing with my brother. Applied to fellowships, got one at Columbia. Starting fall. But I had to see you graduate. Silence stretched. Charged. Why now? Alex asked. Because I was wrong. Ethan's voice cracked. Surrendering us? That was the real betrayal. To you. To me. I love you, Alex. Still. If you'll have the wreckage. Tears stung. Alex closed the distance. Fists bunching Ethan's shirt. Wreckage? You're home. Their kiss was fierce. Fireworks mirroring the spark. Deep. Renewing. A climax not of ruin but rebirth. Summer unfurled over Cambridge like a lazy hymn. The yard's grass lush under barefoot graduates lingering before the diaspora. Alex and Ethan moved slow this time. Not from caution but savoring their own rhythm. Unhurried as the river's bend. Ethan's brownstone sold, but they sublet a one-bedroom in Somerville. Creaky floors, a bay window framing sunsets over the Mystic. Mornings were coffee and crosswords. Ethan's foot hooked round Alex's calf under the table. Afternoons, Alex workshopped poems at the Grolier Poetry Bookshop. Ethan prepping syllabi for Columbia, his voice alive again with ideas. The scandal's echo faded, but scars lingered. Anonymous emails trickled. Vitriol from Voss's old crew, or ghosts. But they forwarded them to lawyers, building a file like armor. Therapy became tandem. Alex unpacking Tulsa shame, Ethan the brother's death that armored his heart. We heal together, Ethan said one session, squeezing Alex's hand. No solo acts. Voss reappeared unexpectedly. A coffee run-in at Tat. Both men awkward but civil. Heard Hargroves at Columbia. Good for him. Tyler sipped his Americano. Eyes clearer. And you? Fellowship. McDowell, Alex confirmed. 6 weeks in New Hampshire. Writing retreat. Tyler whistled. Fancy. Hey, if you need a donor for that lit journal you're editing. Dad's mellowing. Alex chuckled. We'll see. It wasn't absolution, but bridges tentative, spanning divides. Fall beckoned. Alex to Peterborough Woods, Ethan to Morningside Heights. They drove up together, Ethan's Prius stuffed with boxes, stopping at diners for pie and promises. At McDowell, Alex's cabin overlooked a pond, loons calling like lost souls. Letters flew, actual, stamped. Ethan's scrawled with sketches of campus gargoyles. Alex's inked with verses. In the vein of your scar/I trace the map of us/unfolding. Unbroken. Reunions were fire. Weekends in the city. Ethan's faculty apartment overlooking the Hudson. Skyline a jagged promise. They hosted dinner for Mia and her girlfriend. Ethan's brother visiting with his husband. Tales of Philly pride parades. Laughter-filled rooms once silent. Love, once stolen, now claimed. Climax came not in fury but quiet revelation. One December eve. Snow blanketing Columbia's quad. Ethan knelt by the tree in Alex's visiting dorm. Ring simple, platinum with a sapphire chip. Marry me? Not for show. For us the real, messy poetry. Alex, breath fogged, pulled him up. Yes, God, Yes, the wedding was spring. Small. Langford officiating in the yard. Cherry blossoms confetti. Vows echoed Baldwin and Dickinson. Rings exchanged under the John Harvard statue's watchful eye. Tyler attended, with his partner a quiet nod to amends. Toasts rang, to survivors, to love's defiance. Years wove forward. Alex's first book, Rivers Uncloseted, hit shelves, a blend of lit crit and memoir, dedicated to E, who shattered the flute and mended the song. Ethan tenured, his courses on queer sociology packed. They adopted a rescue mutt, Buster, who claimed the bay window as throne. Summers in Tulsa, winters in Philly, roots entwined, not erased. Betrayal's shadow taught them. Humanities in the fracture lines, where light seeps through. Harvard, that glittering cage, became origin story, not end. In quiet moments, Alex would trace Ethan's scar, Ethan murmuring, "We made it," and they had. Not flawless, but full love as verb, as vista, as the endless American dream. Flawed, fierce, forever reaching.